All right, I'm good. Got both sides going.
I think I only have one side, but it's okay. I can still hear you guys.
As long as the camera's getting both,
We should be good.
that's what's important.
I'll make the sacrifices necessary. Hopefully it just cuts out Nelson's feed. So.
Yeah, well, that sounds like a great idea.
Hopefully I just heard it.
Well, thanks for joining us.
Oh, thanks for the candy corn. Thanks for the
Here
candy
at
corn,
the
Nelson.
Nelson's Not Here podcast. All right, let's do it. Welcome to the Sofa Kingdom podcast with your hosts, Nelson.
Yeah,
Ed?
We are here for you despite impending doom of this Hurricane Ian headed our direction.
Right. Hurricane Ian is theoretically on the way. On the way, you know?
Yes.
Chilling in
it-
Cuba?
Did it officially get upgraded to a hurricane?
I have
know
no idea. It's been a hurricane since like last week, even though it hasn't quite made it to hurricane
I have seen
status.
some places calling it hurricane before it was hurricane. Like, it's not a tropical storm yet. How
Yeah.
about we go up the levels
No, this
as
is
it
what
goes
they
up?
do. This is what they do.
Yeah.
They scare the shit out of you. They want you to buy gas,
Goddamn
buy water,
right.
buy... No, bullshit.
And I did all of it, but I wasn't scared.
I did fill up.
Okay.
I was in Fort Lauderdale today. I did fill up on the turnpike
See?
going way back.
So you have to do
So
that.
I have a full tank.
All right. At time of recording, still a tropical storm.
Okay, but here's
Okay,
the thing.
exactly.
Here's the thing. Why Ian? Why is it Hurricane Ian?
Because it's weak. It's weak and it's not going to do anything. Much like myself.
I believe they actually have all the names picked out ahead of time.
I'm glad that there's never been a Hurricane Nelson that I can recollect.
Yeah.
It would be a shitty storm. It would. It would.
We've had some big ones, but they like don't. I mean, I don't know. Andrew was like what, the most damaging one?
Yeah, it was a tightly packed storm, and it was moving so quick it just ripped everything up in front of it.
Right, and then Katrina was probably the most deadly.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean you're sitting in areas that are below sea level because the dikes are keeping out the water, and then
The
you
what?
Whoa,
And then
come
you
on,
don't-
man.
you don't
We
have
don't do that here.
the
we
people
don't do that here.
maintaining them, and then all of a sudden that 6 feet of water that you were keeping out is
Right.
now in.
No, yeah. No, those were some pretty nasty
Also, when they tell you to
hurricanes.
leave and your entire city is below sea level.
Yeah, you gotta leave.
Yeah.
you
You
gotta
gotta go.
leave. Yeah.
I mean, Houston had some bad ones too. 'Cause
But I
of how
mean,
bad they
a little
flood.
bit of fuck you for the city engineer that built a city under sea level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that is clearly some greedy trying to get money. They
Yeah.
drain a swamp, an area that's lowlands.
What could go wrong?
They literally drained out a lake, built a city in it, and then they're surprised when we can't keep the water out.
when
Yeah.
it fills with water.
Yeah.
And I was in New Orleans like 2 years ago. There's still some
there's-
residual stuff from it.
Well, there's some places I think like Louisiana still.
Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico. I'm sure any of the Caribbean islands that
Yeah.
continue to get battered. Cuba.
Well,
being
those
one of them
islands
as
out there
well.
in the Bahamas and stuff get annihilated.
Yeah.
They get like the full force of a Cat 5 storm
'Cause
directly on
the
their head.
storm is bigger than the island, so it's not like when it hits land, it starts to lose strength.
Yeah.
But when you're on an island and the storm is so big that it doesn't affect its loss of strength,
Yeah.
you're just getting smashed the whole way through.
Yeah, but think about this.
I remember that one hurricane that went over, and I was like, it was a Category 5 storm. They described it as the strongest storm in human history. Like it was a 200-mile-an-hour wind in the center, and it went over this island. And then they showed a satellite picture. The island was gone.
Yeah.
God.
I was like, what the fuck happened to that island? There were people living on it.
Right.
Like it was gone. It was just
But-
water.
but look,
I was
think
like, oh
about
my
this.
god.
After all that, all the natural disaster damage that a hurricane can make, right, and cause. In the WWE, we had a guy named the Hurricane.
Yeah, he was
And
kind of
he was
weak.
pretty shitty.
Yeah,
he was pretty fucking trash.
He did not live up to his name.
No, he did not. But Earthquake and Typhoon, however, they did live up to their names
Yes.
as natural disasters. They were two of the biggest, largest,
It's because
fattest
earthquakes don't fuck around.
wrestlers.
Yeah.
And,
Earthquakes don't fuck around. When the tectonic plate shifts, yeah, that's
I've
you
never
get tidal
actually
waves,
been
you
to
get
one.
volcanic eruptions, you get all sorts of shit. When that
Have you ever
happens.
been in a earthquake?
Funny story. Yeah, actually, it was in Pennsylvania. There was
Really?
that earthquake that hit years ago in Virginia, and we got residual effects in Pennsylvania. I remember I was cooking breakfast in my friend's college apartment, and next thing you know, the floorboards started to move like water. That's all I know. I know. I thought like my buddy Kyle had slipped me like some kind of shit in like
There's
a
some
drink or something.
acid in the
Yeah,
eggs right
because
now.
I'm cooking food, and all of a sudden like the floorboards start going like water. and like the building moved a little bit, and then it stopped. It's a couple seconds, and I was like, I walked out. I could hear car alarms and shit, and I walked out in the hall, and I looked back and forth. Another guy comes out of the room across, like he's got a pan in his hand.
Yeah.
It's steaming. It's got like bacon in it or something. He goes, "Did your floor just move?" And I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Yeah, dude." He's like, "Good, dude." He's like, I was about to call fucking priest. He's like, I was like, wait. He's like, what in the exorcism of Emily Rose is going on here?
Fuck. No, I've never been involved in an earthquake. Hurricane, yes. Crazy blizzards in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, blizzards are good.
Lived through those and in New York as well.
Yeah. But I think this one it's gonna be mainly a problem for the Panhandle. I think it's gonna be a west. If it does turn into a storm, I know they're trying to scare us, but if it does eventually turn into a storm, I think it's gonna go far to the left.
It keeps swinging more and more
I hope so.
west, and once it hits Cuba, that's when we'll really see where it's going. Because once it touches land a little bit, is it gonna swing out more into the water, or is it gonna go over it? And keep on its current
and
path?
run us over.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Shout out to Cuba though for always knocking the strength out of those storms with their mountains.
Yeah.
We appreciate you guys.
I say build more mountains.
It's like if South Florida is a quarterback, Cuba is definitely the best offensive lineman in the league. They've been saving our ass forever. So,
all right. So, speaking of disasters, these trailers this week.
Oh Jesus!
Nothing looks good. Nothing looks good at all.
Pretty shitty.
No, I wrote a couple down, and I don't care about almost any of them.
Yeah.
And Night Shyamalan looks to bore us with Dave Bautista.
Knock at the Cabin.
Yeah.
And I am a fan
Just
of
don't
Bautista.
answer the door, bro. Just don't open the door. If you're in a cabin in the woods, you're doing your thing, and 4 people knock on your door, don't open it.
I don't.
And you should own a firearm.
I don't think they were just letting them in. I was pretty sure
They forced their way in.
they were letting themselves in.
Yeah. And why does Dave Bautista look like the world's biggest Jehovah's Witness?
He does look enormous.
Right?
That's what it looks like, and I think that's what he's leaning on with the trailer. If you can't tell if a thing is coming, or if they're just religious fanatics thinking that a thing is coming.
Yeah. In an M. Night Shyamalan movie, you never know what is happening.
Yes.
And you usually don't even get the grasp of it until the final 5 minutes.
Yeah, and it's part of the charm when it works.
Yes.
But when it doesn't work, it is terrible. Like,
if you
Lady of the Lake? No,
Lady in the Water.
Lady in the Water. That was a disappointment.
The Happening.
Signs was fantastic. The
Signs
Happening,
I
destroyed.
enjoyed. Yes.
The Signs was one of my favorite movies.
What was the other one? The Village.
The Village wasn't bad. Wasn't
the
bad.
problem, I realized what was happening with The Village halfway through, and that almost kind of ruined it for me because I was like,
Right.
Yeah, M. Night Shyamalan is one of those guys that had such a massive hit that it just carried his career for a while.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I think,
but he has done other good stuff.
Yes,
It's
yes.
sort of the Quentin Tarantino thing.
I wonder how well the original scripts are written versus what manages to get on screen. Because I can't imagine they keep giving him money to do movies if they're not reading the script and going, man, this can work.
Yeah, but
he
has
makes
an audience.
he makes his name real big, and he's one of those directors that kind of got like a niche.
Yeah.
Like you know that's gonna be weird. Like he did so well with The Sixth Sense.
Yes.
Everybody was like, my God, this is fantastic, that they kept giving him stuff.
Sure.
And then maybe he made a couple stinkers, but then he made like Unbreakable.
Yes.
Or he
Right.
made things that were good, Signs. He kept himself alive that now he can put out a turd.
Yeah.
And like they're like, oh well, like it's kind of like Quentin Tarantino.
Yes.
He made Reservoir Dogs, good movie, but man. He made Pulp Fiction, which some people consider one of the greatest films ever.
Fucking fantastic.
And then like he's got some wiggle room, you know.
But you know what? For
Kill
me,
Bill, blah blah, and he
that's
can make
it.
he can
Kill
make
Bill 1 and 2, man. Those were my movies.
But then he made Django. Like, he makes things to save himself, but he'll make a pile of shit like The Hateful Eight, and it's just like, what the fuck? Like, okay, I'll let it go, because then he redeems himself with Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
But he
So,
has.
like, all right.
But here's the thing with him is he has an audience. So even if the movie is underperforming,
Right.
you know,
And
Still
actors,
selling tickets.
it's still selling enough tickets because he has an audience that comes out. So it's not like
But there's
it's
a
not
couple-
like he's making movies and not making money back.
And A-list actors are still lining up to be in
Yes.
his movies.
I mean, look-
they're like, I want to be in the next Tarantino
Yeah.
show.
Adam Sandler too, though, right? Like, not every single Adam Sandler movie is a hit. Now, when he makes a
Most
good
are not.
movie,
Like that Halloween movie he made.
they're fucking
What the
hilarious.
fuck was he thinking? But whatever. I understand he just wanted to make
Punch
people laugh.
Drunk Love was probably the biggest kick in the nutsacks for any Adam Sandler movie that I watched, because one, I went into it at the time. they were all funny movies. Billy
Yep.
Madison, Happy Gilmore, Little Nicky, and then Punch Drunk Love. I'm like, this shit's gonna be hilarious. And then the whole time I'm sitting there like, what the fuck am I watching? Is
Little
this an
Nicky,
artsy?
they just put Little Nicky on Netflix, and I remember, I put it on for nostalgia.
Yeah.
I remember I bought the Little Nicky soundtrack when it came out, like the CD.
Right.
But it's just funny. Like, it's just stupid. He talks like his face to the side. It's like every time they're like, "Where are you from?" with that accent, the South. He goes, "The Deep South." It's just like
It's so stupid.
Oh my
it's
god,
good, right?
Like it's so good. Like that thing is walking around hell with tits on its head. I was like, "What the fuck?" Like, they shove a pineapple up Hitler's ass against the grain. I was like, "This is one of the greatest films ever." Like,
It is.
How did I forget about Little Nicky?
Yeah. Happy Gilmore too. I mean, the dream sequences, his happy place, little midget
That
riding
ruined-
around on a horse.
That ruined Apollo Creed's career. He's forever Chubbs Peterson.
One hand. Right?
Goddamn alligator bit my hand off. But I got him. I tore one of that bastard's eyes out.
Such a good.
What's amazing is how
Ben Stiller.
how
Ben Stiller as the
unconvincing.
orderly.
Yes, Ben Stiller is the terrible,
The
owner of
evil
the-
orderly. Yes.
Yeah. Could I
He's like,
trouble
"You're
you?
gonna sew."
Could I trouble you for a glass of warm milk? You could trouble me for a warm glass of shut the hell up. Now you will go to sleep, or I will put you to sleep.
I haven't. He's
You're
kind
so
of
good.
He's
You're in my
kind
world
of
now, Grandma.
Yeah.
faded away for a little bit here. I don't know what he's doing, but
He made a
Ben
lot of
Stiller?
money.
Yeah.
He made a lot of money, man. He could
He
do whatever
actually
he
did-
wants.
He actually helped produce, and I think he might have directed Tropic Thunder.
Okay, that makes sense.
I have to look it up.
wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
Ben Stiller, like Tropic Thunder, is one of my favorite comedies of all time.
Yeah.
It's just every time you watch it, you notice something you missed.
Yeah.
It's so damn good.
Dodgeball and Zoolander.
Oh
Those
my
are my
God.
two favorite Ben Stiller movies.
Dodgeball is so good.
Oh my! If you could dodge a wrench, you could dodge a ball.
Yeah. Do we have to do this? Do I have to drink my own urine? No, it's sterile, and I like the taste.
Well, hopefully we'll get some more good stuff from Adam Sandler. He's all over Netflix. He's getting like multi-movie deals.
He's
and
touring right now.
And if things like that do work out, you'll probably see them do that with other artists like him, like a Ben Stiller who has like a following of like, no, he kind of does these movies. It's kind of his own thing.
Yeah.
And it works.
Yeah, I think the king of like making goofy ass comedies that people worship is probably Will Ferrell.
Yeah.
I mean, Will Ferrell is.
But he's another one. Like he's been gone.
Old School,
Yeah.
Elf,
Old
Talladega Nights.
Old School is just
It was the classic amongst
where he kidnaps
classics.
that guy in the grocery store parking lot, and he's like, he says something to his mom. He's like, "If you say anything to anyone, I'll fucking kill you." And like, then she starts crying. He goes, "I'm just kidding. We'll have him back for dinner." Like, he
Oh,
instantly
he's
does that.
streaking by himself.
Oh.
Brothers.
We're streaking.
Frank the Tank. Frank the Tank.
His wife is mortified.
And the
Her
old guy
girlfriends
dies.
are in the car.
The old guy dies Jello wrestling Blue. You're my boy, Blue.
That's such a great movie.
Is that the one with the wedding singer where the guy's singing and he's like, "I fucking need you now tonight"?
That's Adam Sandler.
That's Adam
yes,
Sandler.
The Wedding Singer.
The Wedding Singer,
Yes. Another classic movie by Adam.
It is
Sandler.
actually. Drew Barrymore, Billy Idol was in that. That's a good movie.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
actually
50
really
First
good.
Dates.
Yeah, another
I
one.
liked that one. I thought that was another fun. It
You
was
think
a
Adam,
rom-com.
you think Adam Sandler ever slept with fucking Drew Barrymore? You think it ever happened? It probably did.
Yeah.
I don't imagine why it would.
I'd say yeah.
She fucked Tom Green.
Really?
Yes,
They were married.
They were married.
Really?
Yeah.
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 Tom Green?
Tom Green.
Anybody can get it then. All right.
My bum is on your lips. My
Bum is on your lips. And if I rub it, you might just give it
A
a
little
little
kiss.
kiss.
Yes. Eminem rapped about him.
Hell
yes.
yeah.
Yes. Tom Green was the
Wow.
shit at one point.
Remember that show though? Like he was it a
Tom Green should have been
comedy
killed.
show or was it a
It was comedy, but
It
it was like
was-
uncomfortable comedy.
Yes.
Yeah.
He
like a
would
hidden
he would
camera
he would do
comedy,
a
right?
skit. Yeah, he would do a
Yes.
skit that was horrible. Like
yeah.
like he would wait for someone to order a pizza and then he would
But he also didn't wait for anyone to give him a show. He just did his own show. He turned his house into a studio.
Really?
Yeah.
That-
well, you
the
gotta
house he
you
was
gotta respect
in,
that. Then.
He
I
would,
mean,
fo-
come
yeah,
on.
he would follow a pizza man, show up to the same house as the pizza
Undercut his
man.
pizza.
Yeah, and he would try to underbid the pizza man. He would make their pizza right there in front. You have what toppings you want. He would like, how he didn't get his
That's
ass
great.
beat. How he didn't get his ass beat was amazing.
I mean, but Borat is the more I
Sacha
guess
Baron
Sacha Baron Cohen.
distinguished-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Sacha Baron
version of
Cohen
that.
is nuts.
He's
nuts.
an
the fact that he got
amazing
Ron Paul
person.
into a room and started to dance. I was
Yeah.
like, this is,
He manages to get himself into places that you're like, that should not be possible. Somebody's security fucking failed.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Huge.
When he dresses up as Borat and tries to sing the national anthem at that rodeo in Texas, I was like, dude, you're gonna get killed. He starts
the
singing the
balls.
Kazakhstan national anthem.
Yeah.
Huevos grandes.
Oh,
Come on. You got to give that man his
When he
respect.
walked around as a rabbi with his ass out in Israel, I was like, dude, no. You're going to get killed. You're going to get fucking
Yeah, that's some
killed.
shit that they get stoned for.
Yes,
Oh,
he was
yeah.
chased.
Yeah.
This one rabbi started chasing him through the street, screaming at him, and he was like just running with his ass out. I was like, no, you can't do this. No. Like, I'm all for, like, making people laugh
Yeah.
and putting yourself in situations, but that's like...
But thank God for people like him, right? Because
Yeah.
they push the boundaries so far sometimes you're like, I can't believe he's
Should I
still
laugh
doing
at this?
Yeah. Yeah. It's so good.
that
It's
fight
so
scene he did in Borat in the hotel with that naked guy,
good.
him and that guy fighting in
That was uncomfortable.
How do you film that?
was
How do you film
uncomfortable.
that?
That was uncomfortable.
They were like in a 69 position, and the guy's like screaming at him, "Eat my asshole!" Eat my. I was like, "This is I can't do this.
And I'm out.
I can't do this."
As a cameraman,
He's
I
chasing him
quit.
through the hotel with the dildo.
Yes.
I was like, "What are we doing at this point?"
Oh, man. So, all right. I know we're having a good time here, but I'm going to tell you guys, as big of a Star Wars fan as I am, Andor to me is a huge sleeper.
Yeah,
And not in a good way. It's just like, not a sleeper hit,
not sleeper hit.
a sleeper.
It puts you to sleep.
Yeah.
NyQuil.
Uninterested. And
Ambien.
it's not bad acting.
I feel
It's
like
not, it's just not
I feel like they're
good.
trying to increase the tension, but I'm not
Forcing it.
feeling
feeling no
any
tension.
real tension. Like
Yeah.
nothing about it makes me feel like he's gonna get caught or he's in any real danger. It doesn't. I mean, it's almost seeming like the little spy thrillery.
Yeah,
Yes.
but it's not.
They're trying to make it drama. They're trying to make it like more adult. And like I dug the first episode when it started. I was like, okay, it's gonna be like noir. I got a cyberpunk feel. I was like,
Yep.
okay, fuck, I'm invested. That quickly fizzled out. It's
Yeah.
like the main character kind of seems like an asshole. He
does.
just seems like an asshole.
Yeah.
He seems like a guy that's like cryptic and like I don't know. He doesn't really have any real relationships.
Yeah.
And I don't get it. Like the outfits of the security contractor guys, they're fucking stupid as hell. They look like
Yes,
Disney
they were.
workers. I'm like, all right, like.
with the blue and orange, like
I mean, they literally are Disney workers in
Yeah,
Star
yeah.
Wars, but I'm just saying, like,
It's not even like anyone is acting bad.
right.
No.
Like it's like none of the acting themselves is bad. Like the people that are playing it, like yeah, that works. Like
Right.
the real Percy Weasley kind of guy. Like we need to find these.
Oh, that
like,
guy,
like,
yeah,
he's
the corporate
very-
dude, yeah.
He's very convincing at what he's doing, but
and he's
like
uncomfortable.
He reminds me
Yes.
of like
When he-
Gangs of New
when,
York,
when he
right?
tried to give a speech, when he tried to give a speech to motivate everybody, and it just fell flat. I was like, oh,
yeah, I was like, here's
yeah,
the
yeah,
moment
yeah.
to really like sell him of like he can do the job. Be like, oh, he's a real fuck up.
yeah, he
Yeah.
is. He
He's
is.
gonna
he's
not-
he's a corporate weasel. He's not good.
No, I was talking about the big guy that was with him.
He was good. I like that
the,
guy.
the sergeant on the
Scottish
ground,
dude.
right?
The Scottish
guy-
dude.
the
yeah.
big
Yeah, it was
guy-
like Gangs of New York.
Yeah.
He is
reminds
looking
me of
for
that
a
guy.
problem.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
That he's like, you're trying to start a problem. I want in.
He's like, we need to teach these people. We need, the best way to keep a tool sharpened is to use it.
There you go.
What?
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, the show just it's falling flat for me as far
Same.
as my interest in the characters and where they're going. And it's like you guys said, I don't think that the acting is bad or the script is bad. It's just
They have a
when
big, grand vision.
Yeah, the
Yes.
atmosphere of the planet and of the show of everything is excellent. It cinematography,
Yep.
great. It's just something feels a little missing.
and I'll tell you what it is. Star Wars is sci-fi, right? So when I go to watch Star Wars, I want to see a little space magic, whether it's
Space wizard.
space
Yeah.
wizards, right? A little baby Yoda. I didn't see any other aliens on the planet, really.
Well,
like,
that's why I
they
said the
got
first episode.
droid.
The first episode I liked because am I the only
Yes.
one that in the first episode when he walked into that bar / like strip club, whatever
Right.
the hell it was,
Yeah.
that you got Mass Effect vibes?
Yes.
I got Mass Effect vibes.
Yes.
As soon as I said it to Sierra. I looked at her. I said, "This is Mass Effect."
Yeah.
I was like, "That bartender, like that feel.
Yeah.
That's the club
Yes.
on the capital,
Yeah.
the station city."
I was expecting more spy from
Yeah.
the opening scene.
Yeah.
I was expecting more of like he's actually doing some espionage, and
Yeah.
all it is he's running around a planet where he's tapped out on every fucking person. He owes everybody money.
He's an
Everybody's
asshole.
looking
He's a
to get
fucking
him.
asshole.
Yes.
That's what
He's
I'm saying.
not.
Like, I was like,
He's not
Cassian
completing
Andor is an
any
asshole.
of his deals.
Even the lady he's supposedly living with. I don't know if that's his mother or not. I don't know that
Weird. That was weird.
Yeah.
She stole him. She
Yes.
stole him. That's a fucking kidnapper. She's a bad person
He
too.
fucked her over too.
He did.
Like
He's a shitty person.
Yes.
And we'll find out later. Okay, he's trying to get his sister back. Blah blah.
Yeah.
He strikes me as a dickhead. The
Yeah.
guy I wouldn't hang out with. But they had so much at the first episode.
Yeah.
Like where he headbutts a guy. The guy's fucking dead.
Yes.
I'm like, oh my god, how hard is this dude headbutt?
Yep.
And then like you can see him contemplating. He's like, and then he killed. Like I was
Yeah.
like, all right,
That-
this is a
that was
hard
a
man.
calculated
This is a
move.
hard man.
Yeah.
But then it fizzled out. I'm like,
Yeah.
come on.
And again, like I'm feeling like the Star Wars universe is supposed to be bigger, and I feel like this is a human story.
Yes.
And they want to bring in the cute droids in every new Star Wars
Yeah, we don't need
venture.
The stuttering droid.
Yeah, but I'm
Yeah.
like, bring in the aliens. They're a little more interesting to me as far. Or
The
if you're
big
not
guy,
gonna-
the big guy that came to collect the money.
that was
He
cool.
was fun.
Nelk or whatever. I was like, dude, I love that
That's
guy.
what I'm saying. More.
I
of-
love that guy.
That's what I'm saying. More of that because
He said, I just have to stand here.
none of the main characters.
I love that character. Get him back. I love that guy.
Right, Boba Fett. What was the best part of Boba Fett?
Big Black Wookie.
Goddamn right.
Big Black Wookie.
Come on, that's what I'm
BBW.
saying. More of that.
BBW. Big Black Wookie.
But he was right. He was one of the more interesting characters.
There's a T-shirt for you.
Yeah, Big
Put that,
Black
put that
Wookiee.
Wookie, put that Wookie on it. Like, it starts with a K. It's like Kyrgyzstan or something like that. Put him on a shirt and put BBW
He's
on
not
it.
Borat, bro. Kyrgyzstan.
What was his name? What was that Black Wookie's name?
It wasn't
forget.
Kyrgyzstan.
If
I
it's
can tell you
Kyrgyzstan
that.
or
Listen,
it's something similar.
Kyrgyzstan, yeah, no.
If it's Kyrgyzstan,
But I think they knew that the first opening episodes weren't going to be enough to pull people in. That's why they dropped 3 just to open.
To tell the story.
Um,
Because it wasn't until the 3rd episode that things picked up a
yeah.
bit.
Because they did the
okay,
same
it's
thing.
Kersantin. I'm sorry, it's so
Yeah.
different.
All right, you
Kyrgyzstan,
were
Kersantin.
actually pretty close.
I am
You were
very
pretty
close.
I don't
close.
think so, but Kyrgyzstan sounds like a place I wouldn't visit. Kurdistan.
Oh, you would fly to
Listen.
Kersantin? What the? Come on, really?
With how much we murdered Taika Waititi's name on here before,
yeah.
that was close.
Yeah, he's
Takiki Wakiki.
Yeah, he's no Henry Cavill.
No, he's not. Cabal, the famous Mortal Kombat character. No, I mean, I want Star Wars to succeed. It's Disney's other major thing besides Marvel.
Right.
It's just I don't know. If
Go
it
ahead.
seems like their Marvel series is doing good. It's just they can't hit the mark outside of Mandalorian with
Yeah.
Star Wars. They can't do it.
Do you think it's just another case of like some things are for other people to enjoy? Like I'm sure there's a
absolutely.
lot of people that are just watching that and like, oh man, I love this.
Yeah.
Versus like maybe we're just like we're more on the
When you're used to stuff like the Mandalorian, I mean, it's just it falls
That's
flat.
what it is.
It
Yeah,
falls
that's
flat.
exactly
You
what
know?
it is.
I hope it picks up though. Like, okay, he just left with that dude. Blah blah. Why is the guy looking for him? Why
Right.
is Cassian Andor so important? Like,
Yep.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I'm gonna keep watching. I just want it to kind of ramp up, man.
Yeah,
I want to be able to say, yeah, just get past those first 3 episodes,
and then it takes off. But
because Boba Fett kind of picked
Same
up,
thing.
you know, like Boba Fett, we were talking shit on it,
Yeah.
right
Yeah.
up until the Mandalorian showed up.
and then lo and behold, the show got good.
So got good again. So you're right. You know? But She-Hulk
Loving it.
still staying good.
Listen,
the
that-
wedding episode.
God damn, was that good? And they're
Cracked
introducing
Titania's veneers, man.
some dark villains
Yeah.
Yeah.
on the show. And I think it's going to tie into the other Marvel property that they just talked about with the villains team,
Oh,
Thunderbolts.
the Thunderbolts. Yes, yeah, that leads into their storyline as well. So She-Hulk is bolstering a couple of different storylines. Hulk, if you're paying attention from the beginning, that they just kind of said, this alien ship has nothing to do with the show. Don't look
Yeah.
over here. What the
yeah.
fuck?
And the Hulk
Yeah.
left on it.
Right. Okay.
Ignore her.
Okay, we'll just ignore that. Here's
She's
Daredevil's-
calling Bruce, and he's not calling her back.
Yeah. Here's Daredevil's helmet. Ooh, don't look at that. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
It's good though. It's,
Yeah,
it's
I
good.
do. I like it.
It is good.
I like it. So
I don't know. I just the wedding episode I liked it, but I had to Google like where did Titania get her powers? Like I had to look up what her
Yes.
Yeah.
origins were because like she was taking shots to the mouth from
Yeah.
She-Hulk and like swinging back. I'm like, whoa,
Yeah.
where the hell? What college do you go to learn how to trade shots with the Hulk?
I gotta
Like,
say, Titania is one of my favorite villains.
You know, and
She's
that
fucking entertaining.
and that is going to be
She is.
interesting because I don't know too many She-Hulk villains. Like I'm not really
Right.
current on who her main villains actually are.
Titania got her power from an Asgardian god of fear. So So
I believe she has multiple origin stories.
and she also was enhanced with Doom technology with Doctor Doom.
That one is the one I'm aware of.
She's had some shit done to her, but
Because I know when I looked into it, I saw like 2 different things. I'm like, okay, this is a character that they've rewritten every time they redid a new series of She-Hulk.
But how do you have Asgardian powers and go to peddling shitty beauty stuff? I don't know. That's whatever.
I mean, because
She's an influencer.
she's adapting to the world she's in, right?
I guess.
Look at the rest of the Asgardians. They were basically like
They're living in Norway
shit-
now.
Yeah, come
Yeah.
in.
Living in Norway.
Yeah. So some of her villains are Titania, Ultima, the Grappler,
No idea.
Abominatrix.
Okay.
That is a hero I never want to see.
That is, I want to see that.
I
do.
cannot. What I'm picturing in my head right now cannot be what the character looks like. But that is one of the
No,
most
but it's a great
uncomfortable hero
picture.
names. That is one of the most uncomfortable hero names I've ever heard in my life.
Wow, it's so good.
Abominatrix.
Abominatrix. Look, and it's it's
no.
the Abomination wearing a skirt, basically,
no.
and with a yellow wig. With a
No.
yellow wig. So
How?
I hope that happens.
How?
I really
what
do.
in the dark mind?
Ruby Tuesday. Oh no, Thursday. Excuse me. Tuesday's the restaurant.
Yeah. Don't you disrespect Ruby Tuesday like
She
that.
just basically looks like a marble head.
Oh, okay.
So she's got some funny looking fucking characters. So, I mean, but look,
Somebody needs their search history checked. Abominatrix. Who the hell comes up with that?
that's fucking great. I'm looking at all these. None of them look like any of the main villains that really we know.
Yeah.
Per se, but you know, it's her own world. So if you're following the
man.
She-Hulk, you'll see it.
Abominatrix was a gamma mutate with PMS. I shit you not. That's in the Marvel
That's
fandom.
the description.
No, that's Earth
Fantastic,
616.
bro.
Yes, her name was Florence Sharples, and she got gamma mutated while suffering from PMS.
Well, Flo. This is what happens to you.
The Abominatrix.
Wait, where's Flo from? Those commercials that she sells
Progressive?
insurance.
Aggressive.
How far we fallen, Flo? How far we have fallen.
Florence Sharples. Oh God.
But I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
I like the whole show.
I think it's the best Marvel show that I like it more than WandaVision. I would say that She-Hulk's my second favorite show on Disney Plus besides For the Mandalorian.
I put She-Hulk as my third favorite show. I'm still really big on WandaVision only because it came at us in such a unique way and it delivered the goods from beginning to end. And
that kicked a lot of people out by episode 2.
yeah, but
That
then,
weeded a lot of people
but
out.
then they
and they
came
missed
back.
out on a lot.
So a lot of people came back though once they were like, "Yo, are you watching this shit? Like, catch up or get the fuck out of the universe."
And
then-
that's something that's actually nice about having only a handful of episodes. You can catch up
Yeah.
pretty
Yeah.
quickly.
And then number 2 still is the Winter Soldier and the Falcon. Man, I thought that, you know, a lot of people are clamoring for like, oh, we want a more serious tone, but you had this show and people complained, oh, it was too serious.
Yeah.
And it delivered
Oh
on
well,
the action.
well they were
the
happy until it was
espionage.
serious about a black man was being experimented on, and now a black man's got the mantle. All of a sudden, it's too serious, guys. It's too serious.
Yeah. We don't like the depiction on cops.
yeah.
Have you watched TV as a whole? Because they be shitting on cops all the time.
What are you referring to?
and that backstory that they actually introduced.
Actually, the actual show cops.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, G4 TV is back.
No, I'm just,
but the backstory
What you want?
that they introduced with the Captain America show there, it was the backstory that is canon in the comics. So
Correct.
So that gentleman was in the comics. His
Correct.
platoon was in there. They all get wiped out. He's like the last man standing. So that is all part of the history in dealing with Captain America, and they actually eventually merged his thing with Wolverine at some point. So eventually they established that Weapon X was it's written as Weapon X, but what they meant was Weapon 10. Captain America was number 1.
Interesting.
So it was a super soldier program. So
Right.
Cap was number 1, and there was 9 in between before they got to Wolverine, who was number 10. So and eventually they start showing who all the other people were in all that, but it was like, oh, there's a little connection between them in that whole way, and Wolverine's actually he knows of Bucky because they end up working on similar like assassination missions.
Right.
Over the years.
So they'll be
yeah.
in like in the same place at the same time, and he's like, "You just stick
So what
to
number
fuck
was-
you're doing.
Stay over there, bud.
I got over here.
What number was
And I
Bucky?
won't say anything to Captain America over there, who you're with doing a thing while doing another thing on the side.
Right.
And we just all go our
Like the
separate
Black
ways.
Widow. The Black Widow is notorious for being on task for one mission.
Yep.
While doing 2,
another.
3, and 4 for Nick Fury herself.
And Bucky was the same way in the comics. So if you actually go through Wolverine's origin stuff, you see where he runs into Captain America on missions, and he has like little conversations with Bucky, like, "You just keep to your shit, and I won't say anything to him if you stay out of my way." And it's like, fine.
I like how Wolverine ties into a lot of these things. I'm still very curious to see who they're going to put in that role as far as an actor is concerned. I say go with the no-name.
Daniel
Nobody
Radcliffe.
will have any recognition. Yeah. I mean, Daniel Radcliffe is beefing up. He's fucking
I think
beefing
there's
up,
a
bro.
reason for
He
that. I think
really
he
is.
knows. He knows.
I mean, he's playing like one of the most notorious skinny Weasley motherfuckers on the planet.
But he's Jack.
And he's like a
But he's
foot,
fucking
and
jacked
he's like a
as fuck.
foot shorter than Weird Al.
Yeah.
Like,
Weird Al's in the movie. Weird Al was like in multiple times in the trailer. He shows up as characters. I'm like,
Not
are you playing
surprised.
like 12 guys? What the fuck?
I think that's great.
Yeah.
I think that's great. Another show that's doing really well that I'm enjoying a lot, and that's The Lord of the Rings.
It is doing
Yeah.
good. It's
Each
doing good.
week, the show seems to expand upon the universe more and more. It's
Yeah.
more elaborate. The
It's got
scenes, some of the scenes are
such-
fucking beautiful.
it's got such a big world to explain
Yeah.
before they even get to the ring. I mean, you got all the
Yeah.
different races and all the intertangling of how they all interconnect to even explain before you get into. But they're really just dumping out
Yeah.
a lot. You
That's-
got to wonder, like,
yeah.
how long of a timeline are they expecting to run the show
I hope
and,
it's a long
and keep
time.
I hope
that
so, too.
that pace?
Well, especially in this last episode. This last episode had like some of the best cinematography I've ever
I
seen.
agree.
In a show.
Well, I mean, they had those movies to keep up with.
I was like,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah, something
Yeah.
like when the boats were coming into the port and everybody, I was like, fuck, bro. They going to war.
They got a high bar set by those movies, so they
Yeah.
gotta, it's got to be on par with what they had did with those.
Yeah.
But I think from the writing, the acting, even the characters in the beginning that I was like, about, I'm really starting to be invested with all
Yeah.
of the characters. And I'm really liking it. Actually, still, if I had to pick one show between this and Game of Thrones, House of Dragons, I'm still on the team Lord of the Rings. And only because it feels like it's a whole world, and House of Dragons still feels like it's King's Landing.
Yes.
I want more
That
for
last,
the show.
that last episode of
It was sick.
yeah,
It was sick.
that wedding.
But
was
again, it is House of the Dragon, so I mean, it is going to be very insular. It's going to be focusing on all the people with white hair.
well,
No,
let's
but
let's see
you
how
said
tonight goes.
you
Let's see how
can
tonight goes because tonight they're supposedly doing some actor shifts.
Okay. Oh yes.
Yeah, because time passes.
Yes.
So there's gonna be some new.
What
Which
do you
kind of
think
bums
about
me
that?
out.
Which-
It bums me out.
Which is something
Yeah.
I did want to mention that we never talked about because we didn't talk about it at all in the last episode is how do you feel about this constant, like, it goes from one episode to 6 months later to years later to, like, it just keeps
Bouncing.
jumping ahead in time.
Maybe they just have a. I don't know. I see. I know they're basing it off the book Blood and Fire, but that's the book Blood and Fire is literally just a historical chronicling of the Targaryen people.
So
it's
you,
like,
so plausibly they're using that until they run out, and then they're gonna get into their story.
I don't think so.
It's just
I
an
don't know.
odd way to tell a
It is
story.
a weird way to pace it.
Yeah, it's an odd way to tell a story because there's so much missing. There's a lot of nuance that can happen within 6 years,
Yeah.
6 months, 2 years.
They're
like-
going so far ahead now that they're going to swap out characters, and which kind of bums me out because I was liking the one actress. I was liking the girl that plays Rhaenyra. I think she does
Yeah,
a
they're
fantastic
swapping her
job.
out with
Yeah.
someone else.
Yeah,
I
no,
thought
she
that-
does a fantastic job playing that role.
Now, do you think? I mean, they're jumping time so much that it does give them a lot of ability to tell stories still with the younger characters and flashbacks. But why jump so far forward to tell pieces of the story in flashbacks?
I don't know.
It's
man.
hard to
That's the
say
Creative
until-
minds at HBO.
Until it rolls out, and then we could see the whole
say that
season
loosely.
for as it is. Yeah,
Yeah.
the creative mind. Yeah.
I say that loosely.
But another thing is like, with all the time that passes, like something that happened as big as it did in the last episode, and this is speculation on my part. when the queen stops.
Like, I mean, they really could have showed like the 2 years of war.
Yeah.
If they could have done that for a couple of episodes before like jumping right past the thing. Like they could have showed like they're kicking ass in the beginning and then they're just slogging and they're not getting anywhere. And then you throw the scene where he kind of like, we're sending help and he's like, fuck you and your help. I'm doing this myself. Like they didn't need to make that in like just like a half a episode thing. Like they could have actually had a little arc there with it. Also, and it's almost like here's a thing that people are going to see, the violence of the show, and you're jumping right on past it.
Yeah, it's also budgetary things, right? Budgets play a huge factor.
HBO, you better have a fucking budget. You're going against Bezos.
They should.
You're going against Bezos. You need all the fucking budget.
They don't got Bezos money.
That should be the funnel of all HBO money right now.
Well, cancel more DC shows, more Game of Thrones. So like I was saying,
give me another DC story, not in the same universe.
Yeah. So listen. All speculation here, right? When the queen
Who doesn't love musicals?
When the queen sees the guy about to kill himself at the end there, right? And he's gonna take his life samurai style.
Right.
I felt like she had a choice. She was gonna take that man and send her son off with him to learn how to fight and keep him protected from the queen. If she doesn't trust the queen at that point, because she seemed pretty pissed at the end of that wedding episode there, or she's gonna like keep him alive and keep him there, protecting her and the kids in case they have to leave King's Landing. But I thought it was a really weird thing for her to like stop him from killing himself, other than she trusted him because he came clean to her.
Well, she knows he's an honest dude. I mean, dude, straight up. I was like, the whole time he was sitting there, I knew he was gonna confess. I was like, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
I know. It was just like, dude,
you're gonna. She thinks something else happened. And you're gonna confess to this.
Yes.
Don't do it. Don't fucking do it.
Yeah.
Then he's like, rather than be punished, I request to be killed. I was like, bro, you're just digging yourself. Like, what the? Shut up. Like, god damn, you're honest to a fault.
But by doing that, he did show his value to
Meanwhile,
the
that cripple in the garden's just a fucking
that
god.
guy, yeah.
Like, he's like dickhead number one. It's like, all right, we got our new little finger here. Look at this guy. Look at this guy.
I don't know what happened, but
the maester
showed up.
That's a popular character that they got to mimic.
God,
they got to bring somebody in.
And they had to make him like a little gimp ass. Like,
of course they did. Of course they did.
drag your foot a little bit, you know?
Yeah,
Come on.
Yeah. But
Lift it up.
I do think you're right. I think skipping past the wars and the big fights, you could do 2 or 3 episodes of
like
that,
the
and I would
6 month,
enjoy it.
Like the 6 month didn't bother me. I get it. Baby's being born, blah blah blah. We're jumping. We're gonna get to the point. Like, but like when it's like if you get this 2-year jump, where it's like here's a chunk that you could have like to really show what's going on, and you're just skipping right past all the opportunity of showing an actual war.
Yeah. They're definitely telling this story a little bit differently. I'm intrigued. I want to see what they're doing with it. But again, still, Team Lord of the Rings when it comes to these two facing off right now. I just think there's more spectacle to be had with the Lord of the Rings. Orcs are fucking dope. I really like how evil. They don't give a fuck. The goblins are evil as shit too.
And Lord of the Rings is one where they really could have been doing time jumping. I mean, the elves are pretty heavily used, so they could have easily had them be the focus and be jumping time with with how long they live versus normal human lifespan characters, and you're jumping years every fucking episode.
Yeah, it's true. How about the fight scene with the elf in the courtyard?
It's pretty good.
She was pretty badass.
Somebody nicked her though. You got
yeah. She was like, "Oh, Lieutenant." Like,
Lieutenant.
oh shit!
Congratulations.
That's one way to get a promotion, sir. But those are 2 good shows right now that I'm really enjoying. So that actually She-Hulk as well. The Patient. I'm still watching that. I don't know if you guys have caught up on that at all.
I haven't even started.
No, I haven't seen that at all yet.
It's taken a turn for the worse. Like the first 3 episodes were intense. The last 2 episodes have been fucking wild.
Is that an episode by episode thing, or
it is, and they're only 20-minute episodes. But by like episode 4, 5, and I think might be going into 6 or just finished 6, they ratcheted up a lot. The intensity.
I wonder if it's off like an established book, or is it completely original? It's a weird idea for a show. I can't imagine having too many seasons. But then again, how many seasons did they have with Dexter?
Yeah.
True.
No, I'm hoping that this is a one and done, as it should be. Like one
Tell the
season,
story
tell
and
the
just
story,
done.
and then it's done. And it's almost like
But
the
that's
Tom
more of
Hanks
a-
on an island.
That's
'Cause
more of
it's-
a British thing to have a beginning, middle, and end, and you tell it in like 2 seasons, and then you just walk
Yeah.
away. They don't do that in America.
Yeah,
They
no.
go, we're making money.
No, yeah.
Make
Yeah.
me another
Let's
season.
beat this horse till it's dead.
I just don't see
Then
how
keep beating
I
it.
just don't see how they could tell this story again, unless like the serial killer kills Steve Carell and they replace. You have to keep the serial killer in order to keep the seasons going.
Otherwise, there's no
and then
story.
you get yourself another psychiatrist for the next season.
because they have him kidnapped again by another serial killer.
right. It wouldn't make any sense.
Dude, they did 3 Takens.
But it wouldn't. Yeah, this is true. But it wouldn't.
How many times can you keep getting took?
How many times can you get
I don't
saved
know.
by a
Listen,
geriatric
I stopped-
90-year-old man who could barely
I stopped
run?
after the
Chase you.
first one because
I
they
have a
didn't
very
need a second.
particular set
I
of
watched the
skills.
first one. The first one was excellent. You don't need a 2 and 3. Not watching them.
Yeah, yeah.
But I will be tuning in for John Wick 4.
Yes. I mean, I tune
Yeah.
in for Constantine 73, but Keanu Reeves is the one. You can't deny the man.
Well, speaking of like supposedly one and done's, Dahmer. I've been watching Dahmer on Netflix. Yeah,
How was it?
It's excellent, but if you want to be in a good mood, don't watch it. Don't watch it.
It's
It
like
is-
one of those
It is
movies.
the story of
shows.
a serial killer and a particularly disturbing one at that. So,
Fuck.
I mean, I don't know if you like that thing. If you're into serial killers, if you're into crime drama, if you're into
Not
borderline
really.
horror, go ahead, watch
Yeah.
it. But keep in mind that shit really happened. And
Right.
the actor, I forget his name, but
Sells it.
disturbing. The guy must have watched a lot of tape or secluded himself to get into this role,
Damn.
and it's very uncomfortable. He makes you very uncomfortable, and that's, I guess, that was Jeffrey Dahmer. You know?
So,
He was-
so besides that actor, is there any other movies that you've seen like that where, like, I mean, American Psycho, right?
Yeah.
yeah, I like him.
And that movie is a classic.
That's
It
one
is
of the
classic.
few like horror films. Could you consider that?
You could.
Right?
It's
It's more of a murder, but like, fuck. That guy, like, he fucking spooks
Patrick
me out,
Bateman.
bro. Oh my god!
Patrick
And then he
Bateman.
plays Batman.
Batman.
Yeah.
But he killed it in that role. Like, that was a pretty maniacal acting job on his part. Anybody else got any like serious roles?
I mean, Kevin Spacey in Seven was really disturbing.
Ooh, yeah.
Anthony Hopkins as Hannibal Lecter.
Oh,
Silence of the
that's
Lambs.
another one that's
okay,
a
all right.
classic.
Yeah.
Everyone knows that one.
Yeah.
And those are the kinds that I like, where it's
Psychological thriller.
more psychological.
Yeah. I don't know. Seven was psychological, but there was some messed up shit in Seven.
It was,
Some
but
messed
see,
up
like
shit.
that's the kind of like it's
the way he killed people was like, it was dark.
the seven
darkness.
deadly sins, bro.
Yeah.
Gluttony
yeah.
was probably the worst one.
Gluttony, well, to me, Sloth was.
Sloth.
Sloth's
Ooh,
the
yeah,
one
yeah,
where like
yeah,
he had
yeah,
that guy hooked up on IVs and like he was like letting him waste away for a year.
Fuck.
And then when the cops found him, he was still alive.
Yeah, that was a fucking.
Yeah,
that's
that's
true.
a pass.
It was bad. It was bad. He had like bed sores all over his body. It was so bad.
Yeah.
And like they said, yeah, he's still alive, but he's like insane. Like, his
trying to
mind
think.
will never recover from what he's been through.
Female actress that was disturbing would be Throw Mama from the Train with Billy Crystal. That old lady. There was something about that old lady and her voice, like rah, rah. She was like short, but I was like, that's a killer. That woman.
I know who you're talking about. That woman is also in the Goonies.
Yes.
Wait, what was the one?
She's the head of the Ferrelli family. Yeah, that's
That woman was
She's
like.
so ugly. And bless her heart, she's probably a wonderful woman. She probably was, but
Yes.
she's a miserable looking person. Like,
She
that's
really
a dwarf.
is. I gotta
That's
find.
a dwarf.
No,
That's
what-
like a dwarf of
And
Erebor.
I've never actually seen this movie, but I know the generals of it.
Her name was Anne Ramsey.
Yeah.
Wow,
Miserable looking.
that's a homely
That's
looking
a
woman.
hard looking lady.
She kidnaps a writer. She wants him to finish the story,
Misery.
and
Kathy
she
Bates.
she
Kathy
hobbles him when he
Bates.
tries to get
He
away.
tries to leave and she breaks his ankles with a sledgehammer.
Like I've
yeah.
seen that scene, and just that scene alone, I'm like, I don't think I need to see the rest of that
It's
movie.
so bad. Like, it's so disturbing. I think that's a Stephen King story. That's a Stephen King book.
And
It
you're right,
sounds
she
about
was,
right.
She was in the Goonies.
Yeah. But no, Kathy Bates, who's also in Dolores Claiborne, and she is a fantastic actress. She breaks his legs because he tries to run away, and like she wants him to finish the book.
Yep.
And then like if she doesn't like the way it goes, she comes into the room and like yells at him, makes him rewrite it.
Fuck, bro.
It's like finish it the way I want it.
Yeah, yeah. She's a bad person.
Yeah, that's some spooky shit.
Misery.
Man. Yeah, Misery.
Horrible movie.
But that's a great movie for back in the day. What was the other one? One where she notoriously Nicole Kidman opens her legs.
Oh,
it wasn't Nicole Kidman. It was Sharon Stone.
Yes.
Sharon Stone.
And it was Basic Instinct.
Yeah.
Michael Douglas.
She was a bad bitch in that movie
She
too,
was,
bro.
She was.
Like
I mean, that's probably the first example in a movie where they're like, just you gotta show your pussy, Sharon. You just gotta.
I believe.
Yeah, basically.
In the scene, Sharon.
I mean, that thing that happens there is like, oh, okay, she's controlling the room with her sexuality, and that's what lets her get away with all the things that she does.
I believe when it was filmed, she was told the camera's going to be at a high enough angle, it's not going to show. And then they did that, but she kept it quiet until around the whole Me Too thing when she was like, well, this is a thing that happened to me.
Sure.
But it was like, it's on screen, it's premiering. What are you going to...
What are you gonna do?
Yeah, you're under
right,
contract. What are you gonna do?
And that's a fucked up thing. But even still, what about like they talk about these older movies where, like, the woman is brought in to do a scene, and you can't do this now, and like she got slapped or beat up.
Yeah, for real.
For real. Like she had no idea that this actor was gonna come and hit her.
Wait, what
during the movie?
Well, they wanted a genuine reaction, so they deliver the real slap, and then it's like, well, what the fuck? I wasn't told we were doing this part of the scene now. What's happening?
From the guy that played the Godfather, what's his name?
The guy that played him, Marlon Brando.
Marlon Brando was the one that delivered the beating to this woman on set.
But they also did that with child actors, where they would, yell at them and get them crying so they could do a crying, like abuse them on set until they were crying and then put them in front of the camera to do their scene. Like, now that you're crying, go. Tell me your lines.
Yes.
Yeah, that's wow. I mean, I wouldn't put it past Hollywood back in the day. They were saying that what the hell was it? I saw an interesting fact the other day. They said the Robin Hood movie from like 1934.
Yeah.
They wanted realistic bow action, right? Like they wanted to make that. So what they did was they had the actors wear these vests. That were arrow proof.
Jesus, this sounds like a bad idea.
They had a real marksman shoot them with a bow and arrow.
Really?
Yes. And the stuntmen were paid I think today it was the equivalent of $1,600. I forget what the hell it was back in 1934. But they're yeah, it's $1,600 a pop, and they were. So if you watch the 1934 Robin Hood and it says, "Wow, that guy really looks like he got shot by that arrow,"
because he did.
He got shot by the fucking arrow. It hit him full force. He got shot by a marksman.
Oh man!
So the name of the movie was The Last Tango in Paris by Marlon Brando, and it was a disturbing treatment of Maria Schneider was the actress, and they were doing a rape scene in the movie, and he went in and she had no idea she was coming into this portion of the movie, and slaps her in the face for real,
so
and comes
real.
at her really hard, and everyone else is just recording we wanted a genuine reaction.
Yep.
What a fucking dick move to do.
Mm-hmm.
Very scary for her, I'm sure, at the time.
I can only imagine.
But that's the movie that's
the way that's the way a
wild.
lot of them managed to do some of those scenes like that, where look at the genuine emotion. Yeah, because they didn't know that they were going to just get hit now.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is genuine emotion. Congratulations, I guess.
Yeah, fuck, man. All right, staying on the spooky topic, right?
Not me about to watch the scene live on air.
Don't do it.
The volume will be down, I promise.
There's a movie that we've been forgetting for Halloween to discuss for people that to me wasn't. It's Poltergeist. The original Poltergeist. That movie was scary as fuck as a kid. When I seen it, I had no idea. I was afraid to walk in front of TVs that went static. I would run out of a room not me.
Yeah.
You ain't get me, bitch. But that was a scary ass movie,
That
man.
little old lady in that movie is creepy.
Yes, the one that comes.
Carol Ann.
She was like the fortune teller
Yeah,
or something.
go
like
into
that?
the light.
Yes. Oh,
They had
man.
a bunch of weird shit
She was
happen on
fucking
set.
creepy
And
as
She was
fuck.
creepy.
then a bunch of people die or some weird shit like that.
Yeah,
like,
Poltergeist had some weird stuff
so
happen.
some of those things, it's hard to tell how much they were real versus like
how much
myth
they released to
and
try to get you
legend
to watch
afterwards.
it.
Because so many of those movies like that have some kind of weird story or background, or like they actually filmed and they didn't know it was an Indian burial ground. All kinds of weird shit that always kind of pops up. But then you get something like Exorcist, where you find out, oh, what did they do to that poor girl on set?
Right.
Oh, great. She's in a mental institute now. That's fantastic.
Yeah, that,
Good
that,
job,
that
guys.
movie's like one of the most uncomfortable shits ever.
Wow. So it was saying that this was 1982 that this movie came out, and that it was a curse on the original film trilogy's cast. Wow, that's pretty wild. But yeah, Poltergeist was one of those movies, and you know what? Another one, good for Halloween to watch. Gremlins, right? Gremlins was supposed to be like
It's also a Christmas movie too.
a horror film, right?
Yep.
Horror-esque, but
That's another one where people could have avoided the whole problem if they just followed fucking directions. You know? Just don't get the mogwai
nobody
wet.
listens.
Uh-huh.
Don't feed the mogwai after. There, two rules.
But that's another
Yes.
one of like, why are you selling weird mythical creatures to random fucking people?
That's true. That guy in Chinatown's a dick.
You
Yeah,
have to know.
He's a demon. He's
Listen,
a demon salesman.
You
know
have
what I
to
mean?
know that he knew what was going to
course he
happen.
did.
Oh, yeah.
Don't feed her.
Yeah. Listen, he's like-
yeah.
Seriously, that's
Yeah.
stupid American.
He's like, oh, rich white guy. Here you go. Buy this. Take this to your house, but don't feed it and don't get it.
he was not Persian. He was trying.
Oh, my bad. Hold on. Let me switch my
Well,
accent.
I mean, it was Hollywood.
don't switch the accent.
Are you sure?
Don't do it.
I've been practicing, bro.
No, don't.
All
Okay,
right,
we're
all
good.
right, all right.
Jesus.
All right, I won't. I said I won't.
All right, thanks.
Gremlins was another good one. Poltergeist.
They're
What
redoing
else?
Hellraiser. They're redoing
oh,
Hellraiser on
yes.
Hulu.
It looks
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
interesting.
It does. It looks good. It looks like they actually put some time into it. They didn't just cheaply throw
Yes.
it out there.
It looks creepy as fuck.
The original
It does.
Hellraiser is creepy as fuck.
I've never seen it.
The original Clive Barker Hellraiser is a masterpiece. It
Yeah,
introduces
yeah. The
Hell-
commercials were enough for me to go, meh, I can watch
Yeah.
it.
And
It's good.
So they said
It's good.
Clive Barker is doing this one as well.
Yes,
Yes.
he's involved in the making of it, and it's basically that you find a box, and the box is like a gateway to hell. It's like a certain part of hell, and when the gate opens, these things come through called the Xenobites, and the Xenobites are like these certain type of demons that specialize in torture, and they delight in like human suffering.
Oh, yay.
Yes. So it basically, don't touch. Once again, like kind of like don't feed the mogwai.
Yeah.
Don't touch the fucking box. Leave it alone.
Right,
Like,
right,
don't,
yeah.
even,
right,
don't
right.
even pick it up. Nothing. Because when you try to solve the puzzle box, it cuts you, and once it cuts you and your blood goes into it, now some events have been set in motion that can't be undone. So
Right,
basically, see box, leave box the fuck alone. Don't touch box. So that's my strategy personally.
Okay. All right.
I always found that stuff creepier than like a slasher. Like the scariest slasher to me was always Freddy, because
Yeah.
Right.
how do you not sleep?
Right.
Yes.
Gotta sleep. He's gonna come for you.
It's the
And if you're afraid of
anticipation.
him, he's stronger.
Right.
I'm terrified of a guy coming at me with a fucking glove hand.
Yeah.
If I saw it on the street, I'd run from him. Let alone my dreams.
Yeah, especially even with or without makeup, because he's an ugly motherfucker.
Yeah, Robert Englund is a creepy guy.
That's an ugly motherfucker.
He
so.
was perfect for that
He
part.
could have walked onto the set of Lord of the Rings
Yeah.
and they'd be like, all right, you're good. No makeup needed. Get out there.
I mean, you guys know the story about Michael Myers' mask, right?
It's William Shatner.
It's
William
William
Shatner.
Shatner.
Right.
When I found that out, I'm like, you know what?
They just bleached it.
It makes
They
sense.
literally just bleached
It
it.
makes sense.
That's
Yeah.
a fan.
Yeah.
I had seen a thing.
Was he offended at the time though?
I
Probably
can't.
not.
I don't remember. I have to re-find it where they had told him what it was.
He seems like one of those guys who's just like, that sounds funny.
Yeah.
Like he goes with
It looks more like a Mariah Carey mask.
it. Now it does.
Now
yes.
it does.
Yes.
Mariah Carey has
All I
morphed.
want for Christmas.
Yeah,
you
she
know?
has morphed into Michael Myers.
So has that song. It chases you around
It does.
every year for months at a time.
Yeah, they prop Mariah Carey up out of her coffin around like November 20th, and they start talking to her.
She's got to pay for all that plastic surgery.
That's right. That's right.
That Christmas.
Every year
money.
she gets shinier.
Yeah. What about you guys? Any other Halloween style movies you guys would recommend?
I don't know. We've mentioned Halloween like 8 times without actually saying Halloween.
Yeah.
okay,
Where the mask came
but
from.
only the original ones. I'm really not a fan
No.
of the new.
I think there's another one coming out this season with Jamie Lee
But I
Curtis.
mean, the
I
same
mean,
thing.
she's like 90. It's basically Jamie Lee Curtis is fucking Taken.
And Michael Myers can't get her.
But
Still can't get her.
for like all of those movies, like the Jasons, the Halloweens, the Freddy Kruegers, the Screams, I've enjoyed the first one or two.
Yeah.
Like the people, like I don't. Once it starts getting past that, then it starts like where it
the first
becomes
Friday,
too much.
the first Friday the 13th is rough though because that's Jason's mom.
Yeah.
And like it shows Jason's mom taking out like star athletes in like high school. I'm like, no. When I was 17 years old, I'd beat that lady's ass. Like, there's no way. And there's so many scenes in the movie that frustrate the shit out of you. Like, she comes after him with a knife or whatever, and they knock her down.
Yeah.
There's one scene I think where like they hit her with a fucking cast iron frying pan, and she falls down, and they run away.
Yeah.
Bash her fucking
It's
brains
like, yo,
in.
bro.
Bash her. Like,
Capitalize on that moment.
I promise you, this is an advance to any psycho that chases me. If I hit you with a frying pan and you fall down, I'm not done.
over.
I'm not done. I'm mushing your brains out your ears, and then I'm calling the police. I'll call the police over your twitching corpse. Like, what happened? A psycho lady came at me with a knife, and I bashed her fucking brains in.
It's called Florida. Stand your ground law.
It's not. Yeah, it's not happening. It's not happening. So in any of these movies. It even happened in Jeffrey Dahmer. It happened in the show Dahmer. Like he falls down. There's like a fucking huge kitchen knife right there, and the guy runs to the door and starts to unlock the doors. No, I'm stabbing you in the eyeball, and then I'm going for the door.
Well, that's where I think
no.
the Wayans brothers in a scary movie.
Yes.
Where the ghost comes out of the screen and the girl's like, "Oh hell no, bitch!" And she's posting up, pop, 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 pop.
Yeah.
I was like, "That's fucking great," because that's exactly what you should do if they're crawling out of the TV.
Well, I don't know.
Slow.
if it crawls out of the TV, I'm out. I ain't fighting it.
I'm going down.
How did it crawl out of the TV?
I'm going down with a fight, bro. I'm going down with a fight.
If it crawls out of the TV, where the fuck are you going?
Exactly.
That's right. You better
I don't know. The window.
You don't.
Head first.
You better hope that you can debilitate whatever crawled out of the TV.
If it crawls out of the TV, it's gonna jerk you off with its demon feet.
No,
that's just a good time.
That's a later scene in the movie.
I was gonna say. I was like, yeah.
He's banging. She got a mask on and she goes to take it off. He's like, no. Paper bag over her head. Banging. The Wayans brothers always delivered when it came to those spoof movies. This new one does look good. We talked about it last time. The comedy with the town that gets fucking taken over.
Yeah.
Forget the name of it, but that
looked
like
interesting. It
another
did.
good
It
one.
looked like a fun Halloween movie.
Yeah.
I feel like the one that Adam Sandler just did, like he tried to make it good, but I was like, oh god, this is just so bad.
It was bad.
It was so bad. Yeah. He plays like what the hell was the name of it? He just came out last year, and he played like a Halloween watch guy. Like it was so bad.
I definitely haven't seen it.
Yeah. And everybody was in it. Like all his friends were in it. Like
Well,
it was like a blast of the past.
He has a crew of people that does all of his movies. He keeps
they've been in everything.
He keeps all of them people employed.
Hubby Halloween.
Yes.
There we go. Yeah.
It's so
I
bad.
have not seen this. I have to watch it now.
It
I
is
know
so
it's bad.
It is so bad.
Is it?
It is bad.
All right. So
I watched it because I love Adam, and that's why I went in. But I was like,
I have to do it then. I mean, I sat through Little Nicky.
I'm always gonna be indebted to him for my childhood, so I have to watch it. I had to watch it. Like I was like, all right, whatever.
It's like I eat pieces of shit like you for breakfast.
You eat pieces of shit.
pieces of shit for breakfast? What? Nope. It's like, damn, he killed you, bro.
Yeah, that is a great one. Shooter McGavin.
Yeah. Fuck, man. All right, guys. If you had to end the podcast with one recommendation for a good Halloween movie to watch, what would it be for you guys? And it could be a comedy Halloween. It could be a dark Halloween.
It's an animated one.
Okay. All right.
I would say watch The Halloween Tree. The Halloween Tree. It's an old animated film by an underappreciated science fiction author, Ray Bradbury.
Okay.
Ray Bradbury, if you look into his works, he did a lot of like stop motion stuff. He was a great like storyteller back in the day, and it's an animated thing he does where these kids they try to get there's this tree that grows and it's got these pumpkins on the tree. It's weird as shit, and like these pumpkins have faces on them, and their friend gets real sick, and like his soul gets pulled into this tree, and the guy that lives in the house where the tree's at got one of the greatest names ever. His name is like Clavicus Clavicle Moundshround, and it's played by Leonard Nimoy from Star Trek, the great Spock himself.
Interesting.
Rest in peace. And it's actually good. He takes these kids back through this journey through time, and you see Halloween in like ancient Egypt, ancient Mexico, Europe, like the origin of the witches. It's
That's
a great
pretty cool.
movie.
Okay.
And it's actually got a great message at the end. It's good. It's a good movie. So if you like animated stuff like that, and like if you really want to get in the spirit of Halloween, the Great Halloween Tree.
Okay.
Definitely.
I got a good one. It's more on the horror side of things. It's actually one you'll have to watch in subtitles.
And the family can watch it. So.
Okay. All right. It's The Labyrinth.
Mm.
That's actually a movie that I stumbled upon by
Wait a minute.
accident.
Wait, in Spanish?
Yes.
Pan's Labyrinth.
Pan's Labyrinth. Yes.
Yeah,
Gracias.
that's a tough
Gracias.
one. No.
That's-
That's a tough one.
I stumbled on it by accident, and I was mad because when I bought it at first, I was like, man, I told this fucking kid, I wanted the movie, and he gives me the movie in Spanish, so I actually went back to Circuit City. I was like, I want the English version of this
only
movie.
in
I don't want to
Spanish.
watch. It's only in Spanish. I'm like, fuck. All right. So I went back, watched it. Disturbing, but good. That's what I would say about it. Disturbing, but good.
Yeah, it is good. And I admit, like, when I watched it, too, it was a sleeper.
Yeah.
Like, I remember I watched it, I think, on HBO, and it was in Spanish, and I was like, oh, man, like, what the heck? But then, like, some stuff started, like, Nazis showed up.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay. And I started watching more of it, and then, like, she goes into that, like, the satyr shows up, and I'm like, oh, my God. And
What's
that
going on?
thing at the table.
Creepy as fuck.
Yeah, that thing, if you're watching it with kids, just, you got to give them some prep.
Oh, yeah.
You got to give them some prep for when they see that thing at the table. Because
Yeah,
that
definitely
thing
not a kid's movie. I
Oh
would
my
say.
God,
An
it is-
adult film.
Yeah, it is so when that
Yeah.
thing starts moving. Oh, you're gonna shit your pants.
Yeah.
like the rest of the movie, there's some scary stuff in it, but like it's all handleable until you get to that thing at the table. That thing at the table, stuff of nightmares.
It definitely
Literally
delivered
nightmares.
the creepy
Okay.
right then and there. Yeah.
I think
Yeah, man.
I'm like, oh no!
Like, wait a second.
I'm out. I'm out.
We good.
I'm out. That thing's
Going
like
back to
18
the Nazis.
That thing's like, yeah, I'll take my chances with the Nazis. And when you would say that sentence, I'll take my chances with the Nazis.
Yeah.
it's that bad.
Yeah.
It's that
It's
bad.
that fucking creepy.
the only problem with a lot of the Halloween movies and things like that is the adult ones are like one-time watch. Once you know the
Yes.
killer,
Yes,
once you
yes,
know the
yes.
twist of the story, watching it multiple times every time, it doesn't really provide anything new.
Correct.
The only ones that are really rewatchable are almost the family ones.
Yeah.
The Halloween Towns. Nightmare
Hocus
Before
Pocus,
Christmas.
Hocus Pocus,
Hocus
shout out
Pocus.
to-
Sure.
All of those kind of holiday between Halloween to like Christmas. All those. It's only really the family ones that are very rewatchable.
Plus, I think Dana's doing a Hocus Pocus party
Yes.
Friday.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
But there's
We were working on dry ice earlier. We're trying to get some dry ice.
nice.
Not that means anything to you people.
Yeah.
You ain't
But
coming.
it'll be good this year. My daughter's old enough to really sit down and enjoy that kind of stuff. And they're all ones I've watched. The Halloween Town 1 through like 20 at this point. There's
I've
like
never
5 of them
seen
or
a
some
Halloween
shit.
Do
Town
yourself
at
a
all.
favor. I think I seen it like a long time ago. I can't like picture a lot
Yeah.
of it. But I know the Olsen twins are in it, right?
And Halloween Town? Ooh, I don't remember if they're in it. I know they used the same characters through multiples of the movie. So like the main character wise, that family they like it was like every 2 years or something they popped out another one. So
Right.
like they started out as kids and they kind of get older into young adults as the movies go along, which is kind of an interesting thing to be able to kind of see with that
Sure. The way that it
whole
plays
kind
out.
of the way it works out. Yeah, they're kind of telling the story of this little town like every year.
Okay, so Halloween Town is your recommendation?
Yeah,
But yeah,
especially it's a nice little kids family movie.
A kids' family movie.
Well, since you like to watch those, throw a Halloween Tree on your list.
Halloween
this
Tree,
year.
yeah, that one
And
I
take a look
haven't
at
seen.
It. Take a look at it. Trust me.
Okay.
If you want to pre-watch it. But yeah, it's good. It's a good one.
All right.
All right. Speaking of pre-watching, don't watch Andor. Don't pre-watch it.
Unless
don't
you're like
post-
a real big Star Wars
don't
fan.
post-watch it. Don't.
It's
watch
just
it.
it's just slow.
Watch
It's
it.
slow. You know.
Yeah. I mean, if you wanna.
If you're free Wednesday night,
Yeah. I mean, look,
Go
if you
ahead.
want to watch like the Justice League with none of the superheroes, that's Andor.
wow.
That's
Or-
appropriate.
Yeah, yes, yeah. If you just want to watch the staff that takes care of Superman's secret lair, it's Andor.
So it's like maybe the Justice League with like just Hawkman in it. Like
More like Booster Gold. I mean, Hawkman at least had a mace, and he ties into the Egyptian mythology and shit like that. Yeah.
yo, what's he gonna do if Brainiac shows up?
throw his mace at him?
Swinging at.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe that's what it is.
No, I mean, at least that would be entertaining.
I think we're done here.
Yeah.
Shit on Andor. All right. Thank you for joining us at the Sofa Kingdom podcast. You can find us on all your social media platforms at
Sofa Kingdom OFC.
You can find us on YouTube at
Sofa Kingdom Podcast.
Ian. Take us away.
Like, share, leave a comment, send the YouTube video out. Let people know we're here. Give us
Yes.
feedback, negative, positive. We don't care.
Ask us questions. We'll play them on the air. We'll talk shit about you if you like.
Or give us your opinion. We value it.
Yes.
It means
and then
a lot
We'll
to
talk
us.
shit about that opinion as well. If you like. Or don't like. It doesn't matter to
Yeah.
me. No, but seriously, do not watch Andor.
Yeah.
Unless you're a diehard
No,
Star Wars
unless you're a diehard fan, then you'll
then you have to.
you'll enjoy it.
They got some work to do.
They do. They got some catch
I watched Miss Marvel. You can watch Andor.
Damn. Miss Marvel was way better than Andor, bro.